Hi, this is Jacob Erdy with MarketingPlayBook.co, where we teach small businesses to increase their sales and reputation online through digital marketing. And today we've got a pretty good show for you. Just starting things off, I'm a little off my game today. As many of you know, I have a daughter now, and she is at the 5 weeks point. And basically, what that means is she likes to cry a lot, and she likes to cry all night long. So a little bit off my game today, but we'll get flowing and things will kick on track just fine. So if you have any questions during the live hangout, feel free and tweet at us. That's going to be at MKTG Playbook. It's right down there in the footer section too as well, in case you need to look at it. So right there, tweet at us if you have any questions. We'll be able to answer them live on air. Otherwise, feel free and follow along with the show notes page. The show notes page is going to be marketingplaybook.co/episode and the number 17. So marketingplaybook.co/episode 17. And that's going to help some of you, especially if you're watching this live. That way you can kind of see some of the stuff that we're talking about, and it just really helps, especially if you're if we mention any links out there for you. We oftentimes have links and stuff that we mention during the shows, so that'll help you there. Last week we covered Facebook tracking, and I've always told people, unless you can track what you're doing online through digital marketing, through advertising in general, whether it's online or offline, unless you can track it, just don't do it. And the reason is because you won't know what works. I mean, sometimes you'll have something that might go gangbusters, and you'll think, oh, it's this that worked, and then you try to do it again, and it doesn't work, and you're like, what's going on? But it wasn't that. It was this really small thing that you did by accident or something. So tracking what works is really important, because especially when you're online, you don't know what's going to work, and you're going to have to constantly tweak your ads, tweak your targeting until you find that sweet spot that delivers that ROI that you're looking for. So just keep that in mind. If you not really familiar with Facebook or haven't gone over any tracking before, I highly recommend you check that out, and that's going to be episode 16. So if you go to MarketingPlaybook.co website, we have a Hangout section. And on the Hangout section, you're going to be able to see all the past Hangouts that we did. So we're on Hangout episode 17 right now. So we have 16 other ones, and a lot of those are jam-packed with some really good information. So if you're just now joining us, be sure and just peruse through some of those, because you're gonna see some really killer information in there. And I've been advertising for 12 plus years doing digital marketing, and have spent tens of millions of dollars online. So you're going to get a lot of value out of a lot of what we discuss and some of the tips and tricks that we go over. So this week we're going to continue going with Facebook and kind of dive in today. And the title for today's hangout is generating leads and sales from Facebook. Now, for small businesses. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat there, and while we will be talking about Facebook leads and sales, the first thing we're going to go over is the Facebook objectives, or I should say the ad objectives. Now, if you're not familiar with ad objectives, that's perfectly fine. If you've used Facebook before, you probably have a cursory understanding at least of them. And I found that most people, when they join up for a marketing platform, what they do is they just kind of follow the on-screen prompts that Facebook gives them or AdWords gives them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't fully explore what your options are, and that's a really big mistake, because especially with Facebook, it's interruption-based advertising. So unlike AdWords, when somebody actually types something into a search engine, plumbers near me, emergency plumbing, auto repair, transmission repair, you know exactly what the person's looking for. Well, if you're advertising your automotive services on Facebook, you're not getting that same interest, right? So people there aren't necessarily looking for a transmission repair. So that type of advertising really isn't going to work. And in general, direct sales and sales pages really don't work all too well. Now, they can work. I won't say that they don't, because they absolutely do. But for most small businesses, you're going to find that you have to take a different approach when advertising on Facebook. And we'll kind of cover more of that. And we've covered this before, too, in a past Hangout. I wrote about should your business be doing should you be doing social media? And the answer to that was yes, but there's some caveats there. So I would recommend you go back and kind of look at that guide, because I give a whole lot of information in there about creating content, and it works pretty well. But for Facebook, what you're doing is you're kind of putting people into a sales type funnel. It's more about branding, and you're able to brand yourself as a local expert. You're able to put your name consistently in front of the same audience over and over and over. And over the course of time, it might be, a 6-week period. It might be a 6-month period, depending upon your sales cycle and what you're offering. That's where you're going to start to see the conversion. So it's about targeting the right group, and then retargeting that same group of people who are interested in your products and services over and over again, with not sales pages, but with valuable content that they're going to find entertaining and interesting. Because at the root of it, why do people go to Facebook? People go to Facebook to connect with their friends, to see what everybody's up to post, what they've been up to. It's about baby pictures. It's about puppies. It's about, really your family and friends. So and at this time of year, sadly, it's about politics too. But that's a side point. So today we're going to go over your ad objective options. So the options that you have when advertising on Facebook, and what this is going to do for you is it's going to allow you to understand, okay, these are my actual advertising options. And based upon these advertising options, I'm going to be able to develop a plan that's going to take advantage of each and every one of these options, or at least the options that you want to take advantage of. So that's really important to understand, because unless you know what options are out there for you, you're not going to be able to put together a type of game plan that'll work for you. And I hope I am looking for some service-based company volunteers here, and I'll probably do a live session with one of them once I get one under who's willing to go. You have to be willing to do a live hangout, so you don't have to show your face, but we'll have to at least have your audio on you. And basically, it's just going to be an interview where we'll discuss, different things and different strategies that you might be able to employ via Facebook. So I'll take the challenge. Anybody out there who wants it, feel free and contact us. It's going to be just head on over to the MarketingPlayBook.co website. We have a contact page under somewhere. I don't even know where the contact page is. Sorry, guys. But you can email me, Jacob, J-C-O-B, at MarketingPlayBook.co. That's going to be the email address associated with the MarketingPlayBook.co website. So you can email me there, or sign up for the newsletter and just reply to the newsletter and I'll get it. So that'll work all the same too. So I already covered what we did last week. Now we do these live hangouts every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is our 17th live hangout, so I haven't missed one yet. And so I don't plan on missing one except for maybe over the holidays, right? We all got to take a break. So feel free, head on over to the show notes page, MarketingPlayBook.co, episode 17. So first off, let's talk about the advertising objectives and kind of go into detail of them. So one of the more popular ones is going to be click to website, and so this basically sends people to your website. This is the most common method used by many small businesses out there. And what you're going to do with clicks to website is you're going to be able to optimize your ad copy using the Facebook algorithm will automatically kick in, and it's automatically going to try to get you the most clicks at the best price. Now, it's a really good way to go. It's the way that I kind of start off a lot of my campaigns, besides doing website conversions. And website conversions is the other option. So with website conversions, you're going to be able to increase your conversions on your website. You'll need a conversion pixel in place. And what's going to happen is as people start to convert, Facebook is going to see the people who convert, and based upon that, they're going to take those data points, and based upon those data points, they're going to find people similar to those other data points and advertise to them. Now, keep in mind, with Facebook, you can do marketing just for your city, or a specific radius from your business. So you're able to really, really hone in on an audience, and you're also going to be able to do other things like demographic targeting, which we'll get to in a second. For now, I'm just going to cover the advertising objectives that you have. So website conversions is a fantastic way to go, especially if you're doing, let's say, e-commerce, where you actually have an actual sales page, and then somebody checks out online. It's a fantastic way to go. Even if you don't have that in your service-based industry, I'll talk a little bit more in depth of how you can still use website conversions to optimize your campaigns. Next up is going to be the page boost engagement. So this is basically boosts your posts, and this has to be honestly my least favorite option, one of my least favorite options, anyways, because you make a post on Facebook and then you're boosting it, so other people are going to see that post. And for me, that's going to help with getting you some page likes and driving people to your actual fan page on Facebook. But it really doesn't do much else. Yeah, you could link it back to your website, but all in all, you're just basically building your audience on social media, which isn't necessarily going to translate into sales at all for you. So there are techniques in which you could still use this strategy successfully, but it's kind of gone downhill, and really not the same power that it used to have. And it used to have a lot more power. Basically, what would happen, this is the next objective, which is page likes. I'll talk about that real quick. So with page likes, what you're doing is you're getting people to like your page. So they like your post, they like your page. And as you get people who like your content, you're building up your audience on there. You're going to get, thousands of likes and people who are going to be fans of your pages and stuff. Well, back in the day being like 2 or 3 years ago, Facebook allowed you to, once you got your page likes and you built up your audience, what you were able to do is then you could then post something and it would go to everybody, well, not everybody, but the vast majority of people who liked your page. So, if you had a page about sunglasses, right? So you have sunglasses and in particular, and you had all these people and all these fans. Well, you post the latest sunglasses that your store offers. Well, it used to go out to everybody. It used to go out to a lot of your audience. Now that's not the case. It goes out to like 3% of your audience. And in order to reach the rest of the audience, you then now have to use that boost your posts. So the page post engagements. So it's not to say that page post engagements cannot be beneficial, because it could give you important metrics of how many people like your ad, and based upon that, if you see success there, you can actually translate that into doing clicks to website. So there are methods. I'm not going to say that these have no value at all. If you're just starting out online, maybe you just want some likes. You want to feel good about yourself and your company and say, hey, look, we got 10 fans. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Just to build up a little bit of you might call it social proof. So, all these can be strategies in there, but I usually do not start off doing page post engagements. I'm not a fan of page likes either. It usually doesn't translate into sales. Another objective that you have is going to be app installs. I'm not going to talk much about this. I have an app out there that I built, and I drove quite a bit of leads. I was far more successful driving leads to it from YouTube using a video ad than I was with Facebook. But still, Facebook, I found some very, very good value through demographic and interest-based targeting. I was able to target specific interest-based groups and get some really, really good quality users. It just unfortunately ultimately cost me too much per user. But app installs is out there. I know most of you out there aren't doing app installs, so I don't even think I'm going to talk about it again. So unless you shoot me an email and say, hey, I want to hang out on app installs. If we get enough interest, we'll do some. So another one is going to be app engagement. Same thing as app installs, only with app engagement, it's for mobile apps, and it's going to be generally for deep linking. So you have somebody who's already used your app, and you're trying to get them to come back to your app. And what's really nice there is you can deep link, which means you can send people inside your app to a specific location, which is pretty cool. So if you are into apps, it's really nice that they have that deep linking available for app engagements. And Facebook actually has a fantastic tracking platform for apps and analytics app section. That's I think hands down the best that I've seen out there. So that's pretty nice, but it's not going to do most people most good, right? So another one is going to be offer claims. I like offer claims. If you're a small business, you need to try offer claims. So with this, you're going to create offers for people to redeem in your store or online. You can make basically market coupons or discounts, and you can set the features for how many people can claim the offer, when the offer expires, and things along those lines. So offer claims is a really interesting one. And I know pretty much any small business out there can use offer claims in a creative way to generate interest, to help brand, to reward people who have already done business with them via an email list. So there's a lot of creative ways that you can use offer claims. So I definitely would recommend that. There's local awareness, which is reaching people near your business. And here you set your business location and choose a radius around your store. It's a nice way of reaching people in a specific distance from you. So if it's Wednesday today, and let's say I have a special going on for Thursday's lunch special, well, I can kind of start putting it out there Wednesday. Hey, Thursday we have sushi. 50% off between a lunch special, right? So if I wanted to reach people within a mile radius of my business and talk and push my lunch specials, I can, and I can try to drive traffic into my store via this type of option. Or whatever your business is, you're able to get people who are close and around you. So it's a really, really solid way, especially if your business is new to a location and not a whole lot of people know about it. Well, this is a great way of letting people know that, hey, look, there's this newer restaurant or newer gas station or grocery store. And I'm honestly surprised I don't see a lot of like grocery store specials on Facebook. I think grocery store specials would be fantastic. I think it'd go gangbusters. Believe me, I'd be on that myself. But event responses, and this is one of the things that I don't see that many small businesses taking advantage of, and it is sad, really, because event responses, I think, could be one of the most valuable tools on Facebook for a lot of companies, especially in the service-based industry, because you can. And I'll go into detail of an example of how to use this pretty soon, but. This is a great way because you can host an event. It might be at your shop, it might be at a public place, but you can host an event and educate the public on something that they might be interested in. And you're going to be able to meet people in person. You're going to be able to establish yourself as an authority in your industry. And once you give somebody something for free, they tend to owe you, right? It's human nature. So they're going to want to reciprocate in some manner. And that might be giving you their business, or it might be recommending you out to somebody else. So with event responses, generally with most type of events that you're going to hold online, you're going to find that, let's say you wanted 10 people to show up, then you're going to need to book at least 20. Now, yeah, there's always a chance that more than 50% will show up, but generally there's a 50% drop-off rate. So if it's a free event, and I do recommend doing free events, you're going to find that most of them, that half of the people aren't going to show up. That's just the way it is. So if you want 20 people, get at least 40, if not 50, if not 60. And you should be good. So product catalog promotion, this is going to be more for e-commerce-based businesses. At least that's how I'd recommend using it out. And it automatically is going to show your products from your catalog based upon your target audience. So you're going to choose your audience, and then you have your product catalog from, let's say, your e-commerce store. And think of this really as a merchant feed. So if you ever use merchant feed on AdWords or Bing Ads, that's basically what a product catalog is. It's going to be your merchant feed. So it's a great way of getting your products out there. And then if you combine that using dynamic ads, and you should be familiar with dynamic ads, we've talked about it before in AdWords. So if somebody lands on your landing page and it's selling Nike shoe, a particular brand, right? Well, when that individual leaves your page and they go to Facebook, that exact product can be there. And a good example of how this works is Amazon. And now everybody out there has pretty much gone to Amazon at some point in time and then gone to Facebook and then seen that Amazon product right there. Well, the reason why is because they're using dynamic ads and they're using a product catalog promotion for it. So, product catalog promotion ads. The next one is going to be brand awareness. So this is going to reach people more likely to pay attention to your brand. And I haven't personally used this option myself. I brand through other means by basically retargeting the same people over and over. So I've tried to research and talk to a few people about brand awareness and how it actually works on Facebook, and I haven't gotten the best answers. So it tells me that even on Facebook, they're not clear on how they're doing this brand awareness. But from what I've read, it'll show ads to those who will most likely spend more time looking at your ad, however that works out. So, an example of this might be, somebody goes there, they look at your ad, and based upon the time that they spend on the ad, Facebook is going to use those data points from that user and cross-reference it with other people who are spending more time looking at your ad, and based upon those data points, they're going to try to go out and find more people who match those types of criteria. So that's brand awareness, and it's not my favorite way to go. I honestly wouldn't recommend it necessarily for a small business. Now, if you're out there and you use brand awareness, let me know your results, because I myself haven't gotten any clients into it yet, just because I don't really understand the process. And like I said, I kind of do it a little bit different. So the other one we have, and this is a really, really good one, is going to be lead generation. So with lead generation, you're going to be able to collect leads for your business. And recently, this has been one of my favorite ways of producing quality leads. So with Facebook, you're going to create a lead generation form. You sign up, you do a lead generation ad. You're going to create the form, and from there, people are going to sign up to get ABC type of reward. So you're going to have some sort of lead magnet in there. And it could be, in most cases, it's going to be like a digital product of some kind. So they sign up, they give you, they fill out the fields that you require. Maybe it's just their name and their email address. And based upon that, they're then going to automatically get sent whatever it is that you promised them, whatever the lead magnet was. And from there, you're going to be able to follow up with the lead. Now, if you're using lead generation, then you're going to need to have a really good and solid follow-up process in place. And this is why it's important to know, okay, well, look at these different type of ads out there and how best to use each and every one of these ad methods. So lead generation, you're going to have that sales funnel in place. It might be automatic emails that go out. It might be customized emails that go out. And I'll go into an example here a little bit later on of a customized email response. Just because it was, anybody could do a really, really simple example. I decided I'm going to choose a really, really hard one. So we'll see how that works out. Next up is video views. So you have your video out there and you're just getting video views. Now, a couple things to note is on Facebook, by default, I don't think they've changed it yet. I know a lot of people have shut it off, but by default, videos used to autoplay on you. Do they still do it? I don't really know anymore. I think they still do autoplay. I have that turned off in my feed and my settings, so videos do not autoplay, but you're charged as soon as 3 seconds are shown in the video. This is far different than AdWords, which gives you 30 seconds, not 3 seconds. So video views, you're going to see, oh, look, I'm getting penny cent views. Well, you're getting penny cent views because you're charged after 3 seconds, and I still believe that they're autoplaying. So I've had far better luck on YouTube with video ads myself. And I've also found through testing on Facebook that with YouTube and AdWords in particular, when I put up an ad, it doesn't have to be that good of an ad. I mean, you've all seen those really, really poor car commercials out there. And they're just stupidly dumb, right? They're really bad. Maybe even the audio's off and everything. Well, not a lot of us aren't the best at videos, and with YouTube, you get away with that all day long, and you still get sales and generate leads. With Facebook, it seems like they almost have to be more polished videos to get that same type of success. So I don't know. I myself, I've had far better luck on AdWords with video views, but still, it's if you're video centric and you're already doing videos on YouTube, you might as well also do videos on Facebook too as well via paid video views. And it's not to say it doesn't have its place, because if you can create a video that relates to your customers and target the customers, you're going to get some good results. So keep that in mind. Know that it's an option for you. And next up, we're going to have dynamic ads. I already covered this a little bit. And generally, most people are going to use dynamic ads along with the product catalog promotion method. So dynamic ads are simply those of people who have visited your page before. They visit a specific page. Now you're retargeting that specific page back to that person automatically. So automatically, the ad's going to be created for you and everything along those lines using the image and stuff that you directed Facebook to use for it. So some companies that do this, Channel Advisor is one, Mercent is another, MERCENT, and then AdRoll does it too as well. So it's something to check out. Carousel ads. You've probably seen this in Facebook already, and it's going to be where you have the ad, and then you click over, and it moves to the next ad and the next ad. So you can have up to 10 ads in a carousel ad, and those are pretty nice. That, you know, if you have multiple products that you want to promote, you know, if I'm a bakery and I'm promoting my cupcakes, well, I can have 10 different cupcakes in there. Right, so people are going to look at the cupcakes and next, especially if you have some very visual product images. The carousel ads can be really, really nice. Same goes for slideshow ads. So slideshow ads can be, you can take a video and take certain scenes out of that video, or you can just insert your own images in there and fade in and fade out. And that's pretty nice because it's going to get the user's attention a little bit more. You know, if you're there and you show an image for 1.5 seconds and you transition into another image, and it's going to catch the user's attention. So if you're targeting spot on, it could be a really good way to go and get those ads. Now I'm not 100% sure of how you're actually getting charged for those. So I tried to find out, but honestly, I can't figure out how they're charging me for any of the slideshow ads that I set up. So that's something that I need to spend more time on. They can be 35 seconds in length. I know that. The images that you use, you're going to want to use the same size images in all of your slideshow ads. Same with the carousel ads. But with the slideshow ads, it's more important because if you do not, you're going to find that certain image ads are going to get cropped, and it can make your ad copy look really, really bad. That was my first mistake when I first used slideshow ads. So those are kind of the Facebook advertising objectives that you have. And now that you know those, and I highly recommend you look at the written guide to kind of do a quick recursory review of those options for you. That way you can kind of start to put together a game plan for it. And let's go ahead and quickly talk about, after I take a sip of water, your Facebook audience. Now I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Get a little bit of energy and revigoration. So you have, we're not going to talk a whole lot this week about your Facebook audience, but it's important to at least let you know the options that you have when using these. So feel free, and if you do have any questions, tweet at us. It's right down there. So MarketingPlayBook.co. So if you have any questions, feel free. I got the Twitter page up now. So your Facebook audience, and like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, but you have location, age, interests. So interests could be anything that the person's interested in. This is based upon the browsing history of what they've looked at, what they've liked, sites that they visited, the gender, male and female, languages, education level, relationship status, political views, whether or not they have connected with your page, and remarketing and retargeting. So those are going to be your audience options, and we're going to dive more in depth later on. And then you have your design options, design recommendations, I should say, for your Facebook ads. And this is standard for a Facebook ad. You're going to have your 1200 by 628 pixels for your image. So the text characters can be 90 characters in length. Your headline can be 25 characters. The news feed description can be 30 characters. And then your image should include minimal text. And what that minimal text is they basically want 20% or less on it. Now, they don't, they'll still show your ad if you have more than 20% now, but you're going to get charged more. It might not have the same type of reach for you. So I'd still recommend that you don't really put a whole lot of words on your image itself. That's why they give you the text headlines and the characters in the description for you. So other than that, we have our call to actions, which are optional on your ads. And I find that the appropriate call to action can be very, very valuable because it's there in that bottom right-hand corner. And it really can tell the individual of the action they need to take next. And this is something that especially people who don't do a lot of digital marketing don't really understand is you got to take people by the hand and you got to walk them through the process. You got to tell them, click here. You got to tell them, do this. And otherwise they won't. And so you really got to be really, really clear. And so these call to actions really help to do that. So the call to actions that they have is apply now, download, get quote, learn more, sign up, and subscribe. So like I said, we're going to go in depth on these at a later date, and we'll talk around them as we're doing Facebook here for the next few weeks, unless I get diverted and want to talk about something else. But we're going to be doing Facebook for a little while to get through it and build up more examples of how to best to use Facebook and using the advertising platform. So let's go ahead and let's cover some methods real quick, because we're already at 2:30 and I want to go ahead, or 30 minutes into this, and I want to go ahead and hopefully be done here in 10 minutes. So branding yourself as an expert, clicks to website and website conversion. So those are two of the ad objectives that you have out there. And with this, we can use this in a variety of ways. So if I've already mentioned with Facebook, it's interruption-based advertising because you do not know the user's intent. But with this type of method, you're going to be able to set up select strategies that can kind of take advantage of how the Facebook platform works. So in the example that I have listed in the show notes page is let's pretend you own a house remodeling company and you specialize in bathroom and kitchen remodels, and you decide to target women who are married, who are over the age of 34, right? So predominantly it's generally women who want the remodel done. Yes, men still want it, but it's the women who go through and say, no, this is how I want it designed. So you put together a campaign that has great images, a great image showing maybe a before and after. Maybe you're even doing a carousel ad or a slideshow ad or something along those lines. And half of it is the half of the main image is going to be the old one, and the other half is going to be the newly remodeled kitchen or bathroom that looks absolutely fantastic, and the first image looks kind of blah, right? So there you're just trying to get the user's attention a little bit in it. And I would recommend using some sort of geo call out so people know that you're a local company. So my title of the ad might be something like Omaha Kitchen Remodel with a unique twist. So I'd probably work on that title a little bit to create a little bit more curiosity, but at the same time I love having those geo callouts in there. So if you're an Omaha-based company that does remodels, put that in your ad title. That way people can associate, oh, this is a home in Omaha, right? So already you're relating to that individual. And like I said, people are there on Facebook to be entertained. I mean, that's why they go there. They're bored. They want to entertain. They want to update their page. They want to see what other people are up to. And they're not there to buy your kitchen remodeling service yet. So with this, I already talked about why people are there. So with this, we're going to send people directly to our website with the Remarketing pixel on it. So on our page from last week, we talked about having that tracking pixel in place, right? So somebody goes, they click on our Facebook remodeling page ad. They go to our remodeling page that we set up just for this campaign. And on it, what we're going to do is we have that remarketing pixel on there. So that way we're creating a group of people that we can remarket to. So these are people who at least have shown interest in the remodeling job. So if they clicked on it, they could be really interested. They could not be really interested, but we're qualifying the individuals now. So we have our remarketing pixel there that we can build up a pretty large group on. And remarket to those individuals at a later date. In our second campaign, we can now just target all those people who clicked the first one, and you're going to have a far better engagement rate because these people have already clicked on it before. They're already familiar with it, especially if they like the pictures from before. They're going to be really, really interested in the second one. And what you're doing there is you're branding yourself to them. So they're going to see you as the local expert in the remodeling. They're going to be able to see the quality of work that you do. And on that page that you send them to, so we'll say, you have the first 3 images on one page and a total of 16 images. So you're going to have a total of 6 pages each page having 3 images. Now, underneath all 3 images, you're going to have, a brief description outlining, hey, this is what the kitchen looked like before we did it, and this might be why the owner wanted it redone. And what you're doing there is you're relating to the customer, you're relating to the individual who's looking at the ad copy of saying, hey, it's dated, hey, it's starting to fall apart, it has holes, it's they've already painted it before and just weren't happy with the look. They wanted to create more room in their kitchen. They wanted a more open space. And you can talk about some of the challenges of why the individual wanted the job done. And this is very, very valuable because you're connecting with the individual. So next up, you're going to have the next button. So, click next to see more images. And so you start walking them through the job. You've taken pictures throughout the process of the remodel, and you're walking them through the materials that you're using, the quality of why they chose these, why you're using this particular brand. And you're just walking them through the steps involved. You're covering the prices of it. And on all these pages, they're heavily branded. So you're going to have your phone number front and center on the pages for people to call to get a free quote and all that other stuff. Now, initially, you're probably not going to get a lot of leads. So you might get lucky. You might get some leads off of it. But initially, you're probably not going to get many leads because the people just aren't necessarily ready for a remodel themselves. Yeah, they might be thinking about it, or just now, they're starting to think about it. And now that they see the price tag of, hey, it's $30,000, yeah, it's about time for us to do it. And over the next course of 6 months, you're going to be retargeting those people with the next set and the next set and the next set, and you're going to build up your reputation as the expert in the field. So as you go through this, you can actually put we already have the remarketing pixel on page 1. And then on page 3, you can go ahead and put the conversion pixel. You can count them as a conversion. So if they got to page 3, they've had to click next 2 times now, chances are they're a lot more interested in it, right? So this type of group, you might want to create a group around these individuals who are highly interested in the product because they're highly interested in the product or service. So based upon that, once you get 100 conversions, you can create a lookalike audience. Based upon those people who have those same type of metrics now, you're going to be able to create a lookalike audience and target people who have those same type of data points, basically. So chances are the individuals that Facebook will find will be like, oh, wow, these people are really, really similar to these people who are converting for you. Now, I know you didn't really have a conversion page. There wasn't really a process that people went through, but you created a conversion page on that page 3. So I'll defer you to the tracking hangout that we did last week. So there, what you're going to be able to do is you're now, you don't have to put it on page 3. You can put it on page 6 if you want, right? So at the very, very end, because as people go through the sales funnel themselves, you're qualifying them. And those who actually make it to the end are probably really interested. So you can even say, oh, well, I tested out with 3, I created a lookalike audience, I didn't get the engagement I want. Well, drop it, put it on page 6, and see if you get better engagement through when you create a lookalike audience there. So as you go through this process, like I said, you're establishing yourself as an expert in the field. You're creating social proof through the work that you've done. People are going to like the pages. People are going to share the pages, even though that's not the goal. They will. And these individuals, when it comes time for them to think about their kitchen remodeling, well, you're the company they're going to think about. You branded all your pages, and they liked your work because they've been introduced to your work. So your chances are you're the first call they're going to make. And even if they're not going to do the kitchen remodel, they're going to speak to people over the course of the year. And because you keep touching base with them, they're going to remember you. And they're going to say, oh, you know what? I've seen blah, blah, blah companies' jobs on Facebook. Yeah, they do a fantastic job. I've seen like 8 of their remodels that they did, and it's just great. Yeah, definitely give them a call. And so you're going to find that you're going to have people referring you out who have never done business with you before because you have shown them your work, because they're the only remodeling company that this individual happens to know. And we all, as humans, we want to help other people. We want to join in conversations. We want to add to conversations, and we want to share our thoughts and our views. That's just part of human nature. So we're very, very social creatures. So you're kind of taking advantage of or capitalizing, not taking advantage, but capitalizing on that. So initially, your first campaign, you're probably not going to make money off of. But your second campaign, maybe. Your third campaign, I hope so. Your fourth campaign, your fifth campaign. As you start doing this more and more and more, you're going to find that it's over the long haul that you start to build up that reputation, and it starts to pay off for you. So that's really how I tend to brand when I take a business and I take them online. That's generally what I do to brand. So we're already at 40 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it. But I tell you what I'm going to do is next week I'll go ahead and I'll jump in and cover the two other examples that we have in here, and they're all along the same lines of this. But I hope that gives you an idea of okay, even if I'm a service-based company that doesn't have an e-commerce checkout, I can still take advantage of website conversions. I can still take advantage of remarketing, and hopefully now you have a little bit better understanding of how Facebook ads can actually generate you money. It's not about that initial sell. It's about touching base. It's about branding. It's about putting yourself in front of the customer so when they are ready to make a purchase, they actually think of you. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Nothing came in on Twitter, so we are good to go. If you want, feel free to join us on MarketingPlayBook.co. Be sure and join our newsletter. That way you can we send out an email every Monday covering the hangout that we're going to be doing Wednesday. We also take live feedback from individuals via emails, which we've gotten some very, very positive feedback. To anybody who watches this, thank you. That helps keep me going. I don't make anything off of this. I just want to help people out and help people create jobs, make more money, and everything. It's fantastic. So and I love doing this, and I do it for a living. So it suits me very, very well. So that's going to be it for this week. I hope it helps, and take care.